Welcome back to another episode of Talking with the Greats here at Guitar Talk with Todd. Here is part 2 of my interview with the great Rickey Medlocke from Lynyrd Skynyrd and Blackfoot. Make sure you check out part 1 of this interview. I will put the link down below in the description. These are audio highlights of my interview with Rickey that was published in print and online a couple years back. Please hit that subscribe button and enjoy my interview with the great Rickey Medlocke. Now, when you put Blackfoot together, obviously that was, whatever. A lot of people don't like the label Southern Rock. Some people do, but whatever you want to, it came out of that same, dynamic of Skynyrd and all of that
right.
stuff. But was it, did you kind of intentionally, Blackfoot had a lot more drive and kick to it. They were a heavier band, I guess I would say, than your average. Did you intentionally go that direction, or did it just kind of happen?
No, we did. We decided early on, Skynyrd, the Allman Brothers did their thing. Skynyrd did their thing. And we were very British influenced,
Right.
And we decided we was going to mix the combination of being really blues influenced Southern blues, blues like a ladled heavy rock group.
Okay.
And the way Jack and I figured it, the way we would write, I loved heavy guitars. I had been a big fan of Clapton and Hendrix and Jeff Beck and, Jimiepage and all these guys, to me, that were like really heavy guitar players.
Right.
They took a Gibson guitar or a Fender, plugged it into a Marshall, cranked it up, and went to like a bat out of hell,
Yeah.
And that's what I loved. And even in Lynyrd Skynyrd today, that's what I loved. People say, yeah, it's old school, and it's, why don't you use this great big pedal board and a smaller amp to get what you... No, I don't want to do that. I want to use an amp where the tubes heat up so hot that, with the transformer, that it gives you that tone.
Right.
You know what I mean? When I grab that string and, I put a little bit of vibrato in it, I want it to sing. You know what I mean? On its own, without any, without a pedal and, so forth and so on. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I think that's, I know you've certainly influenced me in that sense to just plug directly. I just don't get God, you see some of these guys' rigs, and it's like, I wouldn't even know what the hell to do with this. There's so much crap between the guitar and the amp. It's like, how do you, I don't...
I got to tell you, I got to be honest with you. You know what? I can't dance anyway, and having to dance over a pedal board, I'd be screwed,
Right, exactly. I don't get where... obviously, I guess it was the 80s that brought all that stuff in, but I don't know. It's, some of it I just don't understand.
Well, I can understand Hendrix using a fuzz bass.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Because he had the Gibson, he had the Fender Strat, and he adopted that, and it was a big part of him.
Right.
As like the wah-wah pedal. Well, me, I was very influenced by Hendrix using a wah-wah pedal. I've had some people, and I consider that just the greatest compliment, but I've had people hear us play whatever on stage, and I'm playing a wah lead, and they're always like, man, you know, you can close your eyes almost and swear it sounds like a lot like Hendrix playing like that. You know, and it's like, to me, a wah-wah pedal, what it's all about is making it talk.
Right.
It is when you're playing the lead's got to talk to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like right now out on the road right now, we're doing Needle in the Spoon.
Oh, wow.
And I love, that's like one of my favorite songs to play. And in the middle, of course, there's the wah lead. And Alan played it, you know, and Alan was comfortable with a wah-wah. So, when I play that, man, I just get the biggest thrill out of playing that lead with that wah-wah.
Right.
I mean, you know, and it comes off really cool. It really does. As a matter of fact, you're probably going to laugh, but I still got my original Crybaby.
Really?
Yeah, from way back in the 70s.
Oh, man, that is awesome. Wow.
Yeah. You know what, man? I was using it up until a couple of years ago. My guitar tech, Chris Rugolo, had to keep rebuilding it and having it redone. And it just got so, you know, it just got so old, man. We had to retire it.
Well, so, yeah, right.
You know, but we've got it. It's sitting there, and maybe should go into Rock Hall of Fame or something sometime. But
going back to the blues for a minute, who's your main? Obviously, I'm a Jeff Beck freak like you are as well. Clapton, all those guys. But going back to, like, I guess I'd say more of a traditional electric blues, like the Albert Kings and BB Kings, like, who's your top dog if you had to pick one guy?
Well, if I had to pick, it would be two guys. If I had, it would be a split with me. I loved Muddy Waters.
Oh yeah.
And Lightning Hopkins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then real traditional, all the way back, is the old guys, of course. You know, all the guys I was naming a while ago. I just love listening to that stuff.
Yeah.
When you listen to their voice, the way they're sitting there playing the guitar and they're delivering their voice along with it, it was so heartfelt and so, you know, off the cuff.
Right.
And that's the way my old man was. I mean, you would think you had the beat, and all of a sudden he would just change it up to where you would almost lose the beat.
Right.
And I don't know. I think that some of them guys, you know, like Buddy Guy to me, in my opinion, he's the do-all to end-all. Even today, I mean, I was thrilled to be able to shake his hand at one time.
Yeah.
And because he's influenced so many people. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it was really killer to me. It really was. So, it's so good that some of these guys are still alive, like himself. You know, I mean, I hope that he continues to roll until whatever day, just like us. I hope we continue to roll till whatever day.
I guess the last question I'd kind of just like to shoot at you, which I know is a hard one, I'm sure. And I'm sure you've been asked it before, but I don't know if I've ever heard a answer. If you had to pick one moment, musical moment or song or whatever that you're the most proud of, what would it be? I know that's hard.
Yeah, that's a real I I guess there was one moment in time, not only with Blackfoot, but with Skynyrd. I remember how I had always wanted to play the Royal Albert Hall.
Okay.
And I remember not only, Madison Square Garden and all that stuff, but I had always wanted to play Royal Albert Hall because of look who all got to play it.
Sure.
And when Skynyrd went over that year, and I forget what year it was, but when we went over and we got to play Royal Albert, I was just in awe.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
And it was I could cross it off my bucket list.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I got to tell you, before we go, the real magical moment is for the last 23 years of being with the band has been one magical moment. Every night playing for all those thousands of people and seeing how the music affects them is just unbelievable to me.
Right.
I don't even know how to describe it. It's so surreal, So, for me, for all who read this, I, appreciate everybody and thank the fans from the bottom of my heart. So does the rest of the guys. Here's the deal. They wouldn't be where they are today if it wasn't for the fans buying the records, buying the tickets, buying the merchandise. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, you're right.
That's why I never have a problem of stopping in airports or restaurants or on the street or at a gas station or wherever and then taking the time to talk to somebody. If they get sideways with me, then yeah, I go, hey, you know what? I ain't got time for your bullshit. I'm out of here.
Right.
But for the most part of it, everybody's nice. And I love to talk to people and hear what they got to say. For all the years of support and supporting the music and coming out to see the band, we thank you.